Moedin l'simcha, everyone. A good moed. I translated and freely adopted this story from Sipuri Hasidim by Arav Zevin. Interestingly, his source was a relative of the Tzemach Tzedek, who happened to be in Primishlan the year after this episode took place. I included this story in my second book, Festivals of the Full Moon, and I called it Don't Mix. Rabbi Meir of Primishlan was a highly regarded Rebbe, even by other Rebbes. He was well known for his high level of Ruach HaKodesh, of divine inspiration, and for his sharp wit. One year, around the time of the holidays, his daughter fell seriously ill, and her condition worsened as Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur passed, and she seemed closer to death than to life. Everyone was very worried. On Simchat Torah, Rabbi Meir went to shul as usual, and he rejoiced with great enthusiasm as every year, and he danced with strength, and his great joy, enthusiasm was infectious, and all of the congregation was at a high state of simcha, of joy, of rejoicing. But then the doors burst open, and a small delegation of Hasidim came over to Rabbi Meir and told him, "You have to come. It's the end. She's near the end. You have to come. You have to try to do something." So Rabbi Meir went back to the house. He went into his daughter's room, and he saw the situation was indeed critical. So he stepped outside in order to pray. Now, when he prayed, and even in conversation with other people, he never said I. He always referred to himself in the first person and by his nickname, not Meir, but Meir. So he prayed, Rabbeinu Sha'olam, on Rosh Hashanah you commanded that we blow the shofar. Meir blew the shofar. On Yom Kippur you commanded that we fast. Meir fasted. On Sukkot you commanded us to build the sukkah and wave the four species. Meir built the sukkah and waved the four species. On Simchat Torah you commanded us to be extremely joyful. Meir has been extremely joyful. But now, Master of the Universe, you have brought this tragedy upon me of my daughter, and Meir is commanded to accept it with, and Meir is commanded to accept this with joy. As it says in the Mishnah, in the last chapter of Brachot, one must bless on something bad that happens to him, just as he blesses on something good that happens to him. And it can't be that means that you have to use the same words, because the words are different. For your information, and on Good News, one says, Boch Atah, etc., Melech Olam, Atova Meitiv, he who is good and does good. And when something bad happens, one says, Boch Atah, Melech Olam, Dayan Ha'emet, blessed are you, the true judge. So Meir continued, so Rabbeinu Shalom, it means that, as it says in the Gemara's explanation there, that one has to bless when something bad happens to him with the same attitude as one blesses when something good happens to him. That is with great joy. So Meir is prepared to do this blessing with great joy if necessary, heaven forbid. But there's a contradiction. It says in Gemara Moed Katan that we are not allowed to mix joyous occasions. For your information, for example, we don't have weddings on holidays, not even on Chol HaMoed, because that would be mixing two joys, and neither would be getting its full measure of joy. So Meir said, so it's a contradiction. How can Meir mix two joys at the same time? At that moment, there was a lot of noise from the room of his sick daughter, and somebody came in to tell him that her fever had just broken. Color returned to her face. She seemed to be doing a little better, and sure enough, gradually she recovered, she healed, and was eventually came back to full strength. Rabbi Meir of Primishlan had found a persuasive argument.